What's up, guys? UFC 279, done and gone. And I lost both of my predictions. But it's the name of the game, that's just the way it is. Now, if I were to think about it, I would say that I probably win more than 50% of the time, but I'm not sure. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you got it right, sometimes you got it wrong, and this time I got it wrong, okay? So I only made predictions for the main event and for the co-main event. Of course, in the main event, Diaz submitted Tony Ferguson. I mean, obviously, I always knew that was a possibility. But with Tony Ferguson being on a four-fight skid, I thought that was gonna be the fight that he would turn things around. I mean, obviously, it was a back and forth kind of pretty interesting fight that we would expect, from those two OGs, those fan favorites, both of those guys. I mean, they are, admired by the UFC, by the long time, hardcore fans like me who've been watching MMA for a long time. But, they kind of went back and forth, but at the end, Diaz submitted Tony Ferguson. And then, of course, we saw in the co-main event, I mean, that wasn't even... they didn't even that didn't go anywhere. I mean, Khamzat Chimaev, I mean, the guy is good. The guy is killed. I cannot take anything away from him. I'm still not happy, with the way he handled, the whole missing weight thing. Even during the post-fight interview in the cage, he was asked the question. I think that was an opportunity for him to say, well, especially that he already won the fight. But he still was like, very unapologetic. He said, well, brother, I don't give a damn about that, brother. Well, I think you should give a damn because they're everybody else. I mean, obviously, they're professionals. I mean, everybody went through the process that they're supposed to go to, and they make the weight. And for you to come in and lose weight by 7.5 pounds and say you don't give a damn, I think that is slap in the face for, the fans, to the fans, to the UFC, and also to the other fighters who are working hard to make weight. And I'm pretty sure, Khamzat Chimaev, hopefully I'll know what the salaries were in the next couple of days or so, but I'm pretty sure he made, good money, pretty much making more money than most of the fighters. So I think that was very, that was not professional at all. I didn't like the way he approached the whole missing weight kind of thing. But with that aside, the guy's killed. The guy's good. I mean, he took out Kevin Holland, as soon as the bell rang. I mean, Kevin Holland didn't have a chance to react or to do anything. I mean, he just go from one scramble to the next, from one position to the next, until he submitted Kevin Holland. And props to Kevin Holland. I mean, he fought hard, to not get submitted, to get back to his feet, and he did a couple of times. Got taken down again, and they scrambled, from one position to the next, and of course Khamzat Chimaev, submitted him. So, congrats to Khamzat Chimaev. Now, with that said, I don't know what the UFC is going to do, but there was talk about him possibly getting a title shot, and I saw him answering when they asked him that question, and during the press conference, post-fight press conference, and he mentioned something, but who else out there, who else deserve it? Well, I don't think he deserves his title shot, I mean, if you miss weight by 7.5, I mean, number one, they need to be able to count on you that you can make weight, on fight night. So, especially if he's gonna go fight at 170, because that's the weight class that he just missed weight by 7.5 pounds. So I don't see how he should be awarded a title fight, once you did something egregious like that, and you're going on unapologetic about it. So I think if he wants to fight, if he wants to come back and fight at 170 or at 185, regardless, I think he should go through somebody else before he gets the title shot. And we want to make sure that he will be professional, at least can make the weight that he's contracted to fight in. Then he can get the title shot. So for me, if he's coming back to 170, to fight for the title, of course, Leon Edwards have to fight with Kamaru Usman for the trilogy, for the title fight anyway. So that gives Chimaev enough time, especially, he just fought. He didn't take damage or anything. I think he should fight Colby Covington next. Because in all fairness, everybody says, including Dana, everybody says, if Kamaru Usman wasn't there, Colby Covington would be the champ. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Colby Covington, but he's a great fighter. Can't take that away from him. So actually, he would deserve, in my opinion, to get the next title shot, because Kamaru Usman is no longer the champion now that it is Leon Edwards. So I think what should happen is Chimaev should fight Colby Covington next if he wants to challenge for the 170-pound belt. Or if you want to move up to challenge for 185-pound belt to challenge Israel Adesanya. Well, Israel Adesanya is expected to defend his belt. I can't remember. It might be in November or something like that, or in December, against Pereira, Alex Pereira. So I think while those guys try to do this, so I think Chimaev has enough time to fight somebody at the top of the division, maybe Robert Whittaker, or maybe Paulo Costa, one of those guys at the top, before he would be awarded a title shot. But after that, I think the card was pretty interesting. Some very good fights. Aldana. This girl is good. And I mean, both of those girls were good. I mean, that was a back and forth kind of fight. The first round, obviously went to Aldana. I mean, she got Chasten in all kinds of trouble, and then in the second round, Chasten, come back around, and she took that round. Then the third round, I think Chasten was sort of, laying back a little bit, and they were going back and forth. But when she took Aldana down, I thought, it was gonna be a repeat of the third round, and I thought for sure, Chasten was gonna win this fight. But hey, what do we do? I mean, Aldana just threw a kick, never seen before. I believe that was the first ever. Threw a kick from her back, liver kick, hit her in the liver, and that was the end of the fight. That was pretty interesting, very, very interesting. I'm glad she won a $50,000 bonus for that. And then I think the fight with Barnett, that was a great fight. I mean, Barnett almost, got knocked out, in the first round. I mean, his eyes pretty much got shot. I was worried because I thought the officials, the doctors, they were gonna stop the fight. I mean, his eyes was pretty closed up. But then they let them fight, and sure enough, I mean, Barnett came back and he got his own. He won by TKO. So all in all, there was a pretty great night. Great fights, last night. So I look forward, to the coming weekends. There are a lot of great fights, in the queue. I think next weekend, I believe it's Sanhagen versus Song Yodong, something like that. I expect Sanhagen to win that fight. So I'll see you guys, hopefully most likely before that fight. So guys, give comments and predictions, for the next fight. So I'll see you guys another time.